City of Menasha remembering the lives of 3 people who were gunned down on the Trestle Trail Bridge nearly a decade ago.
Since then, the community has worked toward moving forward and honoring those lost by being kind to others. In a First Alert update, Jamal James speaks with Menasha police on how they and the community has bounced back from this tragic event.
On Saturday, May 3rd, the community of Menasha remembers the lives of 3 people that were killed on this bridge a decade ago.
We got the call of the incident, and our shift responded and probably found one of the most tragic events our area has seen.
33-year-old Jonathan Stoffel and his 11-year-old daughter Olivia, along with the 3rd victim, 31-year-old Adam Bendall, were killed by a shooter who took his own life soon after. Police Chief Nick Thorne was one of the officers to first arrive on scene, telling us at that moment his community had never seen anything like this before.
It's certainly happened throughout our nation, but for the Fox Valley area, it really went to show that it can truly happen anywhere.
Lieutenant Albright agreeing with the police chief on how they've never seen a community rally together for each other.
We got to witness all of the memorials, the positive comments, the ways people reached out to the victims' families, and just the ways people have, honored the victim's memory, specifically Olivia's.
Like building this memorial for those lost, and the Stoffel family honoring Olivia on her birthday, December 7th, naming it the Random Acts of Kindness Day. Something that the Menasha Police Department also follows as they continue to move past the most tragic moment in the city's modern history. Reporting in Menasha, Jamal James, Action 2 News.